Now, in some commonly used graphs, we studied what are simple graphs and what are asymmetric diagrams. Okay. Now we'll be studying something called as symmetric diagrams. What are diagrams? The graphs in which the direction has been assigned to every edge. Okay. Now the diagraph in which for every edge x comma y there is also an edge y comma x are known as symmetric diagrams. That means what? If in any graph if, if an edge is going from this to B, it is display A to B. That means for every vertex there will be an edge going from B to A. Okay, and this will be true for all the pairs of vertices in the graph. Let's see this example. This example, the graph vertices are V is equals to A, comma B, comma C. So this is a vertex set of this graph. And now there exists an edge going from A to B. Similarly, there exists an edge going from B to A. Okay. So in this case, the pair 8 comma b, this condition is satisfied that for every edge x comma y, there exists an edge y comma x. So this is satisfied for a comma b. Now, for this a and c, there exists an edge going from a to c. Therefore, it is satisfied because a to c there exists an edge, and from c to a also there exists an edge. Now, similarly, from B to C there exists an edge, and from C to D also there exists an edge. Okay, therefore, this is a symmetric diagram. Now, similarly, if we see this A, B, and C here, from A to B there exists an edge, from B to A also there exists an edge, from A to C there exists an edge, from C to A also there exists an edge. So this is also symmetric. Now there doesn't come a question of an edge from A B to C or C to B. Why? Because there is no edge between this B and C. Okay. Now suppose if the same graph was like this. A B C and like this, and there was an edge from B to C and no edge from C to D, then this would have been called as asymmetric, a non-symmetric diagram. Okay. So that means this condition that for every edge x comma y, there must be an edge y comma x is for all the vertices or for all the edges in a graph. Even if any one edge is missed, then it is not a symmetric diagram. Yeah. So this is not a symmetric diagram. Now let's see what are connected and disconnected graphs. A graph G is said to be connected if every pair of vertices in G are connected. Otherwise, G is called as disconnected graph. This is what a graph G is said to be connected if every pair of vertices in G are connected. Suppose let us consider this example. Suppose this is a graph G. Now in this every pair of vertices that is A to B it is connected, B to C is connected, C to D is connected. That means all four vertices are connected. Now suppose that you want to go from A to C, then there exists a path to go from A to C. There exists a way to go from A to C. It is you will go to C from A via A to B and B to C. That means you are able to reach any point. That is, you are able to reach any vertex from this any of these four vertices, right? And you can even go from A to D. Like you will go to B first, then to C, and then you will go to D. That means these all are connected. All these four vertices are connected to each other. Therefore, this entire graph is called as connected graph. Okay. Now, suppose consider this graph. This is our G dash with these vertices. Now, suppose see this 1, 2, and 3 they are connected. This graph 1, 2, and 3. Now, if you want to go from 1 to 2 and 2 to 3, there is a way. Again, from 3 to 1, there is direct way. But if you want to go from 1 to 4, there is no way in between. You can't go from 1 to 4, or you can't go from 1 to 5. Therefore, such kinds of graphs are called as disconnected. This entire graph is called as disconnected. Although, if you consider the parts of it, it is this part and this part. Suppose this part 1, 2, 3, this graph as a separate graph, it is connected, no doubt. This 4, comma 5, this graph of two vertices, it is 4, comma 5, now this is also connected, but this together as a graph, oh, it is disconnected. Now, the two vertices in G are said to be connected if there exists at least one path from one vertex to the other. And similarly, in this case, see this A and D are connected because there exists a path between this A and D. That is, you can go from A to B, B to C, and C to D. Therefore, we can say that A and D are connected, although there is no direct connection in between them. Similarly, B to D are also connected because from B you can go to C, and from C you can go to D. Therefore, we can say that B and D are connected. Now, but if you see in this graph, there is no connection between 1 and 4. Yes? Why? Because you have no way to go from 1 to 4. Therefore, this 1 and 4 are not the connected vertices, or they can be called as disconnected vertices. Now, let's see this few. Now, this kind of graph, first graph, this A, B, and C. Now this graph, you have a way from A to B, a direct way, a direct edge we can say. You have an edge between B to C, a direct edge. You have one from C to A, it is also direct. So from B to C you have two edges. Or in short we can say that all these A, B and C are completely connected to each other. Okay? Like in the earlier cases, see A, B, C, D. In this case, although A and D were connected, but there wasn't any direct connection between the two, right? There wasn't a direct edge between the two. But in this case, in all these three vertices, there exists a direct edge. Therefore, we can say this as completely connected graph. Okay. Now let's see this second graph. Suppose this is the A, B, C, D are the vertices, that is the vertex set. Now, from this, we, if we want to go from A to C, there is a direct edge. A to B, there is a direct edge. B to D, there is a direct edge. But if you want to go from A to D, you have a path in between, right? You can go from A to B to C and to D, or you can go from A to C and from C to D. So basically, you will reach from A to D somehow. Therefore, we can say this is connected. Yes, this is connected. Now, the next question is whether it is completely connected or not, like this earlier example. What does completely connected means? there must be an edge between each pair of vertices. Now, in this case, if we consider A and D, vertex A and B, vertex B, then in this, although there exists a path between these two, but there does not exist any direct edge, right? There does not exist any edge AD. Therefore, this is not completely connected. So we can write this as only connected graph. Sorry, only connected. Now this here you can define this as completely connected if there exists an edge between every pair of vertices. Now this symbol that this means what? There exists. I hope you are familiar with this. Now this next graph, graph 3. Now about this graph, let us not get confused between these crossings, this crossing or this crossing or this crossing. Okay, these are not the connections. You whenever you have this such kind of vertices being in a bold or name 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Only these are the edges. These are the vertices and these are the places where two edges gets connected. These are simple crossovers, okay? They are just overlapped. They are not connected here. So similarly in this graph, here there is just a crossing. They are just overlapped, but they both are not connected. So don't consider this as a vertex until and unless you have been named that it is a vertex. Okay? So in this case, if we go to C, there does not exist any path between 1 and 6. Suppose you want to go to 6 from 1. From 1 you can go to either 3 or you can either go to 5 or you can come back to 1, but there does not exist any path from 1 to 6. Okay, so this can be written as two completely different graphs, not connected at all. Like this is 2, 6, and 4, and there exists this graph above it, which is overlap 1, 3, and 5. Basically, in these two graphs, this as an entire graph, there is no connection between this. Therefore, this can be called as disconnected graph. Don't get confused between these crossings. They are not the vertices. This means that the only two edges are overlapped on each other. The similar graph can be drawn again. I'll show you how it is being drawn. Suppose this is what 1, 3, 5, and then there were these 2, there was this 4. This an earlier graph means what? There's a there is an edge from 2 to 4. That means there exists an edge from 2 to 4. There exists an edge from 4 to 6. And 2 to 6 means this is the case and there is no connection between this 1 3 and 1 3 5 and 2 4 6. Therefore this is a disconnected graph. Now there exists another concept of bipartite graphs. Bipartite. As the name suggests, what is the meaning of bi? Bi, in the sense we can call it as bi, means two, and partite refers to the partition. Therefore, two partitions of what? Let's see. Similarly, as bipartite, we can have tripartite. Tri in the sense three. Okay. So that is the bipartite. Two partitions. Two partitions of what? We'll see. A graph G is said to be a bipartite graph if its vertex set V can be partitioned into two disjoint subsets, say V1 and V2. Now this is bipartite, the two partitions of what? Two partitions of the vertex set. Okay, and how are these two partitions? The partitions are of two disjoint subsets. Okay, that means there is disjoint means there is nothing common, no vertex is common between those two subsets of vertices. Okay, that's V is equals to V1 union V2. That means all the vertices of V are being partitioned into either into V1 or either into V2, and such that V1 intersection V2 is equals to 5. That is, there is no common vertex to both these subsets. Okay, that is V1 and V2 are disjoint, such that every edge E belonging to E, uh, every edge E belonging to E, this E is our set of all edges, and the small e is an element of those edges. That is one edge of the set. Okay, so that every edge connects a vertex in V1 with a vertex in V2. Okay, so there exists a connection between those two sets, those two subsets of vertices V1 and V2, that every edge connects a vertex in V1 with a vertex in V2. That is, if x comma y is an edge in E, then x belongs to V1 and y belongs to V2. This in this case x belongs to V1 and this y belongs to V2. And no edge should connect any two vertices in V1. That means that there won't be any edge such that, suppose say a comma b, such that a comma b belongs to V1 or a comma b belongs to V2. So either a will belong to V1 and b will belong to V2, or a will belong to V2 and b will belong to V1. That is what it says, that both these vertices of an edge should belong to two different subsets. Okay, let's see. Now let us consider this graph G. Now here in this case, there are two subsets of vertices. Together, for this graph G, the vertex set is one A, B, C, D, E, F, G, right? But now this vertex set is partitioned into subset V1 and V2. Now V1 is what? A, B, C. And what is V2? D, E, F, G. Right? So now this V1, I'm just telling one concept which will be required in later sections. Now this, what is the value of V1? That is number of elements in V1. 1, 2, 3, that is 3. Okay, and what are the elements in V2? Elements, number of elements are represented like this with a mod sign. It is 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so this is just required in the next concept. So okay, so basically V1 is this ABC, V2 is DEFG. Now what is the condition over this? Now V1 and V2 such that V is equals to V1 union V2. Okay, let's see, V is equals to V1 union V2, whether this is satisfied or not. What is V1 union V2? B, C, D, E, F, G. Yes, A, B, C. And from V2 we have D, E, F, G. Now this is same as V. This way, therefore, we can say that the first condition is satisfied. And what is the second condition? That V1 intersection V2 should be equal to 5 or it should be empty. What is V1 intersection V2? From this, we have nothing in common. Therefore, we can write this as V1 intersection V2 as 5. Therefore, this second condition is also satisfied. Now, what does next it says? Such that every edge E belonging to E connects a vertex in V1 with a vertex in V2. Now, this is our edge set. Let me write our edge set, that is AG, BD, DF, CE, and CG. Okay. Now this is our edge set. Now, what is our condition? That every edge E belonging to E connects a vertex in V1 with a vertex in V2. Okay. Now every edge, let's suppose this edge, now this connects a vertex A to G. Okay. Now A belongs to V1 and G belongs to V2. Similarly, this BD, this B connects is a vertex from V1 and D is a vertex from V2. Okay. So similarly, all these are from V1 to V2. That means what? This condition is also satisfied, that every edge in E connects a vertex in V1 with a vertex in V2. That is, if x comma y is an edge in E of graph G, then x belongs to V1 and y belongs to V2. And the next condition is no edge should connect any two vertices in V1 or any two vertices in V2. Now here if we see in this edge set E, there exists no edge such that both the elements of the edge belongs to the same set V1 or V2. Okay, that means there does not exist AD, yes, there does not exist DE or something like that. So there does not exist any any edge between these V1 sets. There does not exist any edge between these V2 sets. Okay, so all these conditions are satisfied. Therefore, this graph we can call this as bipartite graph. Okay, now next. Now, when we are given a graph, how to check that the given graph is a bipartite or not? Let's see. Now, what was the condition? Now, see, this is a graph G. What is the vertex set? A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Okay, this is a vertex set. Now, we want to classify this into V1 and V2 subsets of V such that V1 union V2 is equals to V and V1 intersection V2 is equals to phi. And again, if x comma y belongs to this edge set, then x belongs to V1 and y belongs to V2, right? So this is the condition we have to satisfy. Now let's see. If this is satisfied, then this graph will be called as a bipartite graph. So now let's see. Let us make two columns V1, V2. Let's try to write that. That how this is processed is, let's write. We can start from any vertex. I'll be starting from vertex A. Okay. So now I'll put this A in V1. Now, there exists an edge from A to C and there exists an edge from A to B. Now, if this graph should be bipartite or if this graph is bipartite, then the B by this rule, by this rule, B and C cannot belong to V1. Therefore, they have to belong to V2. Okay? Because if I write B and C under this V1 column, or if I include the B and C in set V1, that means there will exist an edge between V1, between the vertices of V1, and the graph will be directly considered as non-bipartite. Okay, so we can partition them into V2, that is B and C will be here. Now, from this B, there exists an edge to D, right? Now, therefore, D cannot be included in this set V2. Therefore, this B should be included in D. Now, this is totally fine. Why? Because there does not exist any direct edge between A and D. So, this is totally fine. Again, in this case, V2, B and C, there does not exist any direct edge between us both, right? So, including these two together is also fine. Now, again, there exists an edge from C to D, right? Therefore, this can be included in V1. D is included in V1 is totally fine. Now, if we consider D, now there exists an edge from D to B and C is totally fine. They are already there. There exists an edge from D to F. Therefore, F again cannot be included in V1. Therefore, F has to be included in V2. Okay. Now from F, there exists an edge from E and G. Now, therefore, E and G again cannot be included here. Therefore, they have to be included in V1. E and G. Again, from C to E, there exists an edge. Therefore, this C to E. Therefore, this is how the things are partitioned. Okay, and every vertex and every edge has been covered, and this we have V1 union V2 is equals to V A B C D E F G. Okay, and V1 intersection V2 is equals to phi. This is also satisfied, and for x y belonging to E, then x belongs to V1 and y belongs to V2 is also satisfied. Okay, for every edge, therefore at AB, suppose E is equals to, we can write it here like AB, BD, AC, CD, etc. Then AB, that this AB, this belongs to V1, this belongs to V2, this belongs to V2, this belongs to V1. That is what all both the elements belong to alternate stuff. Okay, they don't belong together. Therefore, this graph can be considered as a bipartite graph. Now, let us consider this another graph. Let's check whether this is bipartite or not. Okay, we have our vertices set x, y, z, u, v, w. Okay, so now in these cases, let's see what happens. We want it to be partitioned into two sets, v1 and v2. Now v1, let's start with the vertex z. I put my z here. So now from z, which two vertices have the edges? That is v and x. Therefore, we can put v here, x here. Okay, now x cannot be included in v1 because again there exists an edge from z to x. Okay, now putting this v and x in this v2, but there exists an edge between this v and x. Yes, vx edge is there. Therefore, the condition that no edge should connect any two vertices in I, either V1 or in V2 is not satisfied. Yes, this condition that is not satisfied, and there, again there is no way for this x. We have to put either in V2 or we have to put it in V1. Therefore, if we put it in V1, then again there exists an edge between Zx, and if we put it in V2, there exists an edge between Vx. Therefore, we cannot partition this set, or we cannot partition this graph into two partitions of vertices. Okay, therefore we say that this is a not a bipartite, not a bipartite graph. Now, if there wasn't an edge between this, suppose our graph was like this, we draw it. Again, the set of vertices is same. Only thing is that I have removed this one edge. That is the difference between this G and G. Okay, and this is my graph G dash. Now let's see whether I can make the two partitions of these vertices. So I'll start with Z. I put my Z in V1, then X in V2, V in V2. Now from V, I have an edge to Y, right? Therefore, this Y will be in V1. And again, there is no edge from Z to Y, therefore there is no issue. Again, from X to W, I have an edge. Therefore, I'll put this W in V1. Again, in between Z, Y, and W, there does not exist any edge. Okay, so there is no issue. Now, from Y to W, Y and W, there exists an edge to U. Therefore, U cannot be included in V1. Therefore, you have to be included in V2. Yes. Um, this together covers all the vertices with V1 union V2 is equals to V, and again V1 intersection V2 is equals to phi, and again that is every edge set, every element in edge set connects one element from V1 to another element from V2, and again there is no internal connection between the sets V1 and V2. Therefore, we can say that this graph G dash is a bipartite graph. Okay, now next. Study about what is a complete bipartite graph. A complete bipartite graph G, which is represented by ordered pair V, E, is a bipartite graph in which there is an edge between each pair of vertices x, y, where x belongs to V1, y belongs to V2, and V belongs to V1 union V2. That is, every vertex in V1 is connected to every other vertex in V2. Okay, by an edge. Now, suppose I have an element similar to what I said, that is V1, V2, and here I have three vertices and two vertices. Then suppose this is A, B, this is C, D, E. That means what? This every vertex in V1 is connected to every vertex of V2. That is what? Every vertex in A in V1. That is, A is connected to every vertex in V2. So A is connected to C, A is connected to D, and A is connected to E. Again, another vertex in V1. That is, B is connected to C, B is connected to D, and B is connected to E. Okay, that means what? Ev- There exists an edge between each pair of vertices x, y, where x belongs to V1 and y belongs to V2 and V. V is equals to V1 union V2. Therefore, this kind of graphs can be called as complete bipartite graph. Okay, so let's see. A complete bipartite graph is denoted by KMN, where M is the number of elements in V1 and N is number of elements in V2. Now, suppose we take here K23. So M is our 2 and N is our 3. So in this case, what will be V1? V1 In V1 there will be 2 elements and in V2 there will be 3 elements. Similar to the graph which I have drawn earlier. Okay. So now since it is complete bipartite, I have to say that every edge of V1 is connected to every other edge of V2. So this is what it is. The first edge is connected to all three. Now let's check about the second edge. The second edge is also connected to all three. So this is how a K23 graph is drawn. This is V1 and this is V1 and this is V2. Okay. And there are how many vertices? One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Five vertices. That means what? A K23 or KMN graph will always have M plus N vertices. Number of vertices will be M plus N, obviously. Now, similarly, a K33 graph. What is a K33? We have understood that K33 in the sense it is a complete bipartite graph. K refers to the complete bipartite graph and is three that are the elements in V1 and V2. So again, this will be the graph like this. This first element connected to all other elements in V2. The second element connected to all other elements in V2 and third element connected to all other elements in V2. Okay, so this is a complete bipartite graph, and again this has vertices 3 plus 3, that is 6, which is equal to n plus n vertices. Now if we go to see this graph, this graph is a bipartite graph. We saw it here. Again, this graph, this is a bipartite graph. We saw it here. But is it complete bipartite? If it was supposed to be a complete bipartite graph, then there must have been an edge between A to B. A to B it is there. A to C it is there. A to C. Then there should have been edge from A to F. But from A to F there does not exist an edge. Therefore, this is not a complete bipartite graph. This is just a only bipartite. Okay. Similarly, in this case, now this is not a bipartite, so let's leave it. But this third one, G dash. Now this is a bipartite graph. But let us check whether it is a complete bipartite or not. Now, for being a complete bipartite, from Z to X, there should have been edge. There it is. And from Z to V, there should have been edge. There it is there. From Z to U also there should have been an edge, but it is not there. There is no edge between Z to U. Okay, there is no edge between Z to U, therefore this is also not a complete bipartite graph, it is only bipartite. Okay. Now, where these kinds of graphs are used. Suppose there exists an example like consider a group of children G where each child represents a vertex and edge. An edge connects two children if one of them is his sister. Now suppose there's a group of children G and each child represents a vertex. Okay. Now each edge connects two children if one of them is his sister. If one of them is a boy, sorry, this question is one of them is a boy and other is his sister. Now to make this graph, we'll write something. We'll write this will be our boy 1, this will be our boy 2, this will be our boy 3, this will be our girl 1, this will be girl 2 and girl 3. There will be some connections between two, but will there be an edge between B1 and B2? Obviously not. Why? Because there is a condition that one of them is a boy and the other is his sister. When there are two boys considered, there cannot be a sister in these two, right? Therefore, we can write this graph can be partitioned into such two subsets of vertices where we can list out all boys together in one and all girls together G1, G2, G3. Okay, so obviously there can be connections between B1 to G1, B1 to G2, or B1 to G3, or B2 to G1, B2 to G2, or B2 to G3, depending who is the sister of which one. But clearly there won't be an edge between B1 and B2 or B1 and B3. Similarly, there won't be edge between these two sets where neither of them is a boy. Yes, so clearly this can be considered as a bipartite graph. Now, let us see what are isomorphic graphs. Okay, so let V is equals to A, B, C, D be the four players in the tennis tournament. Again, now let E is equals to this set and be a binary relation on E such that x comma y is in E means x bits y in a match between them. Okay, whenever there is a match between A, B. Now, A comma B is there. That means whenever there is a match between A and B, A beats B. That is what A wins the match. Okay. Now, this kind of graph can be represented like this. That there are players. That is, four players will be over four vertices. Then there will be an edge from A to B. Since A wins and B loses, therefore A to B, and add C to D. C to D, there is an add, and similarly all are represented like this. Okay. Now again, if we see, there is this graph that let V dash is equals to 1, 2, 3, 4 with the four chapters in the book. Let E dash is given by this and be a binary relation on E dash such that XY is in E dash means that the material in chapter X it refers to the material in chapter Y. That means in this case what? The material in chapter 1 refers to the material in chapter Y. That means clearly we can have a graph like this. All these chapters will be vertices 1, 2, 3 and 4. So now from 1 to 2 there exists an edge. Now 2 to 3 there exists an edge. Now 3 to 1 there exists an edge. 3 to 1, okay. 3 to 4 there exists an edge. 4 to 1 there exists an edge. It says 4 to 2. 4 to 2. I will write this like this. 4 to 2. Now this is also an edge. Okay, so this is how this problem is being represented graphically like this. Okay, now what are the isomorphic graphs? Now two graphs are said to be isomorphic if there is a one-to-one correspondence between their vertices and between their edges such that the incidences are preserved. Now let's see. Now this is the graph of the match to tennis tournament. Okay, now this is the graph of the chapters in the book. Okay, now these two graphs, if we see overall, they both look similar. This has been drawn here. This is of the tournament. This is of the chapters. Okay, these both are similar. Let's see whether they are, two graphs are said to be isomorphic. Let's check whether they are isomorphic or not. If there is a one-to-one correspondence between their vertices and between their edges, okay, let's check. Let us put this B and let us put here 1. Okay. Now from B, there exists an edge from B to C. B to C there exists an edge. Okay. So from B to C there exists an edge. So from here, one either I have to have an edge from 1 to 4 or 4 to 1 to 4 or 1 to 2. So from B to C, therefore I'll have 1 to 2. Okay. So in case of C, I'll have 2 in this case. Okay. So now from C to D, there exists an edge. Okay, C to D. So I'll write here D. Now C to D, that means what? From 2 to 3. Okay, there exists an edge from 2 to 3. No, C to D is there, then D to A. D to A, there exists an edge. Is what? For from 4 to A, there exists an edge. Oh yeah, 3, 3 to 4, there exists an edge. Sorry for this. 3 to 4, there exists an edge. So this is 4, this is our A. Now again, from 4 to 1, there exists an edge. 4 to 1. Therefore, from again here, A to B, there exists an edge. These both are similar. Again, which edges are remaining? This B to D. Now, what is our B? B is our 1. And what is our D? 3. Let's check. Here in this case, we have the edge from B to D. Let's check whether there exists an edge from 1 to 3 in this. Is it from 1 to 3? No, it's 3 to 1. Okay, let's check this. Was 3 to 1. Okay, so that does not exist an edge between this 3 to 1. So there does not exist an edge. This is the edge from B to D. Therefore, in this case also there should be an edge from 1 to 3. But in this case it does not exist. There exists an edge from 3 to 1, no doubt, but not from 1 to 3. Therefore, we can directly say that with this one point only that these two graphs are not isomorphic. Okay, but if this edge was something like this, if there was a similar graph 1 2 3 4, and if this edge was from 1 to 3 like this as it goes from B to D, then we could have said, we would have checked the last one and we would have said if this also satisfies the same thing, then we would have said as these two graphs are isomorphic. Okay, and whenever this is said that B to D is an edge, and again if similarly there is an edge between 1 and 3, then we say that the incidences are preserved. Incidences are preserved means what? In this case B to D there exists an edge from, but from here there does not exist an edge from 1 to 3. Therefore in these cases these incidences are not preserved, therefore not isomorphic. Now let us check whether we can construct a similar isomorphic graph. We can construct an isomorphic graph from this just by rearranging the vertices. Okay, it is what from A to B. A to B, I want an edge. Okay, so I draw an edge from A to B. So this is satisfied. Now let's check B to C. I want an edge. So from B to C, I draw an edge. B to C, therefore this is satisfied. Now C to D. C to D, I will draw an edge. I will draw it like this. Just to avoid the crossover, C to D, I will draw an edge. So this is also fine. Now, however it goes from inside or outside, existing an edge is important. How it goes is not important. Okay, from C to D, so therefore this is satisfied. Now C to A, it is C to A, set C to A, therefore this is satisfied. What remains is D to A. D to A is also satisfied. Yes. Now D to A, then what remains is B to D. Is B to D. So this is also satisfied. If all these edges, all this is satisfied in this, the graph is similar. Also the incidences are preserved. Therefore, we can say this G and this G dash are isomorphic to each other, and we write it as like this. And we say that G is isomorphic to G dash, or vice versa. Okay.